I think there was a road coming this way. And all the flowers was around here. I think this over here was a kitchen part where you could go in, and stove was around there, I think. That part.
So Dawn to Dusk is a multimedia exhibition. It's comprised of installation, audio, drawings, and animation. They're based on 5 short stories from the perspective of a dog, a bird, a statue, a ghost, and a big old house snake. And they're stories that came from memories from family members, so my father and his 4 sisters and 1 brother, after their time in Japanese Canadian internment camps after the war, and they were exiled to Japan. So it's stories that are taken from an old house in Fukuoka-ken and Shizuoka-ken, Japan. And it's a combination of sort of documentary and sort of the fantastical or the fiction. So the video behind me is video footage of myself with my aunts and my uncle, and they are drawing from memory the house from Fukuoka and Shizuoka that they lived in after the war. And basically it's sort of a performative drawing gesture, a series of movements of specific places in the house that they remembered. The piece that's on the ledge is a bookwork. That's a handmade book comprised of all the drawings that came out of the video work. So you get a chance to see the end drawings that my family members came up with in the drawing video. So the first small object in the other room is comprised of a porcelain statue, an animation, a light, and a mirror, and it's basically representing the character of the statue. There is a soundtrack for each sculpture or for each mini installation, and the sound is composed by my collaborator Antoine Bidard from Montreal, Quebec. And each of these sections has a tone, and together they make a chorus. The second work is sort of a miniature set made of wood and paper and animation, light, and mirror, and it represents the perspective of the dog, because the dog lived under the house, and it portrays a moving animation of children stealing a watermelon, which is another story that came out of the video that you saw behind me. So the third piece is a wall work, and it also has a short hand-painted animation, and it's the perspective of the ghost. So it's as if the ghost is in the wall and we're looking into his eye, and it's an animation of a running dog and a mother, and she's laboring away, sewing repeatedly, and the 2 animations fuse together in the eye of the ghost. The fourth work represents the house snake, and it's a small clay sculpture of a wishing well. And when you look into the wishing well, there is a small scene made out of stop motion animation of a young character, a young woman, one of my aunts, and she's climbing up to the rooftop because she wants to see if the snake is real, and she lifts a clay tile and a big white snake jumps out. And the last work represents the bird in the story, and it's the perspective of the bird's eye, so the Medjero bird, which are these tiny green birds with masks, and basically from the bird's eye you just get sort of day-to-day life, like eating a roasted yam, watching mom sewing, so you get a perspective of what a bird might see in the house. You know, the work does come from something that's kind of historically maybe a darker aspect of our Canadian history, and about sort of forced dispersal and dislocation. But I definitely in this work feel like, especially with the sound and sort of the quiet, kind of poetic nature of the work, to want to highlight also that there are dark elements, but there's also an element of beauty, or there's an element of kind of sort of quiet everyday life that I think also is an important aspect when you're collecting stories and you're trying to piece together what really happened, you know, and how things were